All right, we got a special guy to the show here. It's Davon Reed. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good. I'm glad we're able to link up here. There's a lot to get to. You're playing for the Denver Nuggets, 33 and 25 at the All-Star break. First off, congratulations on the contract, the two-way deal. And I know that that's big for you from where you were. We talked last summer. Just what was that moment like for you? You know, growing from that 10-day contract, you had three of those back to back there.
Man, it's been a journey. Like we said, we talked over the summer. I believe that was TBT, right? Like we were
Yep.
going to TBT, and the fact that I even ended up playing for Denver in the summer league prior to that was just the way everything worked. I had planned on playing with a couple of different teams, and Denver had a situation where they could bring me in, so I played for Denver in the summer league and played well from the jump, just played my role and had a few things I wanted to show as far as like being able to make the three consistently, defending at a high level, guarding multiple positions. So, and I knew this, I wanted that to be my last summer league. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go and give it my all. And did so. That ended up then wanting me come to training camp. And at first I'm like, y'all don't have any roster spots. Like I appreciate it, but it's like at this point in my career, I'm trying to like make a decision. Do I want to go overseas and really make a name for myself and, you know, try to get back that way, but at the same time build my my worth overseas. So it was like a tough decision, but Coach Malone was just adamant about me coming to training camp, and we decided to do so. Had a pretty good training camp as well, limited minutes, but in my minutes that I got in preseason, played well. And then from there, went to the G League and played about 8, 10 games. And next thing I know, they were calling me up. And from that point, the call up, first game in the Garden, it just felt like first of all glory to God. It was just like just the way everything fell through. Like that was my grandpa's birthday. My grandpa had just passed. Like days after we spoke, my grandpa had just passed. Like days after we spoke. So his birthday was on December 4th. That was the day we played at MSG, and man, it was just uphill from there. And I just wanted to just continue to play with that confidence, and the ball just kept rolling. And the next 10-day. Oh, after the first 10-day, I had to go back to the G League for like a game. Then next thing I know, it was another opportunity to get a 10-day. They called me back. I ended up signing the third one right after the second, and then they said they wanted to convert me to the two-way contract.
Yeah, I mean, the whole season, you're looking at your games and kind of watching it. It seems like it's been crazy. You talked about that first one there in the Garden. Condolences, obviously. That's tough, man, and just one of those tough deals. Hey, also, there's a lot to get into with your season. I want to get into some things there, some key games for you this year. But just All-Star break, you go back to Miami. You were there for a game. What was it like? Other guys came back too. What was that like for you? How have you been kind of spending your time on the break here?
First of all, shout out to the U. Going back to Miami, they just welcomed me home. I Miami just holds a different place in my heart. It's somewhere I eventually want to live. Like I never wanted to leave Miami, even for pre-draft. It was like tough. It was really tough for me to move to Vegas and not just do my pre-draft in Miami. So I always go back there, spend a lot of time. I hadn't been back since the summer, so it was a no-brainer for me, especially living in Denver. Like I need to get some sun. So went to Miami, was able to go to catch a game, saw Lonnie, saw Dewan, saw Rodney Miller, saw Anthony Walker, all of my, you know, Cam McGusty. I got to see everybody pretty much. So it was good to see them and see they're doing well this year.
And you know, you'd already been in the NBA, and I know people are happy when you make it. I'm sure the reception you got that you're back and the success you've had this season, I'm sure a lot of people are happy for you. Personally, I'm happy for you, kind of seeing your journey. There's a lot of things that I've been able to kind of ask you about over the years throughout your journey. from going to Portsmouth to the being with the Heat. I mean, it's just kind of interesting. You touched on the TBT. Hey, I wanted to ask you, March Madness coming up. Is there a team, one of those two teams that, you go to the tournament, Sweet 16 team at Miami there, and then that last year you guys get bounced in the first round? Is there one of those two different teams, but is there one of those that stands out to you that hurt a little bit more, that you felt like you guys could have been a little bit further, or, is there one that stands out?
From my career in Miami.
Yeah.
Man, if we're being honest, like every year, I felt like we just lost a little too early. Like my sophomore year, first of all, I feel like we should have got invited to the NCAA tournament. We ended up losing in the NIT finals, but we were a tournament team. We had a couple bad losses, but I believe we had 20 wins that season. We should have made it to the tournament. You know what I'm saying? There's no way we didn't get at least a play-in game. You know what I'm saying? So then my junior year, we just kind of just ran into Nova. I feel like if we didn't run into Nova, we just would have – it could have been a scarier tournament. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we were just rolling. And Nova was – that's a shout-out to Nova, though. They were just that good because they hopped on us. We climbed back, and then they hopped on us to close the game again. Like they were just a lot to handle. So, and then my senior year, just the first round exit was tough as well. So, I mean, I could say that about every season, man. But I enjoyed everything. I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, it's crazy. What do you think of this year's team? You touched on Cam there. Your thoughts on him as a player? He's having one of those, just really standout years. What are your thoughts on this year's team here?
Man, they got a really balanced team. It reminds me of like some of our teams from like junior year with Sheldon Angel. They got a solid first group, and then they got good reserves that know their role as well. So it reminds me of their depth, like my junior year team, the Sweet 16 team. But they got a three-headed monster, and Cam, Charlie Moore, and Isaiah Wong. Like, I was just telling my dad, they're liable to have two out of those three players go for 20 any night. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with that type of firepower, and they play defense, like they're turning teams over. You know what I'm saying? So, which is Coach L's MO always. So, the only problem with over the last few years, they just haven't been healthy. You know what I'm saying? It was never anything else. They were playing games with 6 to 8 guys at times. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I kind of switching back to the
league. I can see this team, depending on some matchups, definitely scaring some people in the tournament for sure.
Especially those guards. A lot of coaches are saying that too. They're getting a lot of praise kind of in the ACC, just the work that they've been putting in and kind of the results they keep getting and playing well against good teams. Going back to the league All-Star game, your thoughts on that, and in particular with Steph, and you've played against him. What's that like? Just watching him and then kind of going against him.
I mean, he's the greatest shooter of all time. He's made more threes than anybody that's ever going to make some threes. So that's just a testament to him as well, though, because I read it as when they introduced him, like the day before, he was getting boos and all that in Cleveland and all that. I'm like, oh, he took that personal. And he went out and showed his behind. And we've been able to beat them twice at home. So that's been big for us as well. Like, one thing I can say about us in Denver, when those big games happen, we step up to the occasion.
You touched on one of the things you said over the summer is it's a make or miss league, and you've been able to do that. And I know we're going to get into your defense, but you're shooting 47% from the field, 43 from 30, and your opportunities have come in different waves with your minutes. But how would you kind of reflect back on that, and what's been kind of the key in that, and having the mindset and then delivering? And you touched on the Knicks game that you opened with at the Garden. You had all 3 of your 3-point opportunities there off the bench. Just what was that like there, and what's been kind of the key to have this success offensively?
Well, number one, you got to get on the floor. So the beautiful thing about this opportunity has come with some playing time, and I've been able to deliver. But I've been able to deliver not only because I should say I've been able to deliver because I'm getting the opportunity. Number one, it's been things that a big reason why I'm not, or I didn't pan out in the NBA because of lack of minutes, lack of opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So with this opportunity, it came with a lot of minutes right away, which was what I needed. And I was able to deliver because I put the work in. Like people keep asking me like, oh, how? And I tell everybody like, for me, that confidence is always there because I know that I'm working and I know it's not, if it were ever a lack of like production, like with serious minutes and all that, I'd be like, I gotta go, you know what I mean? I didn't do my part. And I knew that was never the case for me. So the opportunity met the preparation. And then also I got better. Like I actually got better. You know, last year in Taiwan, that was like, and it was so beneficial for my career because I finally got an opportunity to get the ball back in my hand. Like kind of like, you know, you've seen my whole career in Miami. For the most part, I was off the ball until like my senior year. Then when my senior year came and I was on the ball more, I was able to show more. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing for me, being able to show exactly what I can do when I had a ball in my hands.
You touched on opportunities and just kind of reading Coach Malone said that kind of early on. You know, this is a guy that once he gets his chance, he steps up and makes plays at a high level. He gave you that praise kind of early on. That Clippers game, the day after Christmas, the 15 points, that had to feel good. But that stop at the end of the game, that's essentially who you are. You knock down shots and then you get that stop. If you kind of, how could you summarize that game for you in your career here?
Man, that was like that was a big game for my career. That was my new career high. And then, you know, that's also the type of player that I am. Like, I think that's another reason why I fit with the Nuggets. Like in those big games, like I'm at my best. And that's like, I know it's gonna, as we talk about playing time and all that, it's gonna continue to show more and more. But those big games are when I rise to the occasion as well. Like I'm my best, I feel like, in the big games. Like, so playing at Staples, that was a great game. I was just feeling great in rhythm. And then, like you said, that last stop, to be honest, that whole game, they had me on my vet Bledsoe. I'm guarding him damn near full court the whole game. You know what I'm saying? And then that last stop, I just knew. I just heard Kamari Murphy in the back of my mind. He used to say all the time, "Don't be the one. Don't be the one." And I'm like, nah, I'm not. Definitely not. He's a very good player too, but definitely not a rookie. Like,
Yeah, you get
in that moment.
Yeah, you get another. You talked about big games, and it's fun listening to you talk about the Lakers game and defending LeBron, and not a full circle moment, but certainly you touched on getting better as a player. That had to feel good. Again, you've always been a confident guy, but confidence with results, it has to feel good too. But defensively, what was that like? Maybe at the end of the game, but also going into it, knowing what you were going to go against there.
Well, I have been waiting for that moment. That was another moment that I just set out of my mind. Like, first of all, this is the Lakers coming to us. We got to defend home court, number one. And then I had my family in town. My family and my mom literally had just landed that morning. My uncle was in town. So I was already psyched up. And then the icing on the cake was that this is my first time playing against LeBron since my rookie year when he killed me my rookie year. You know, so I was just waiting for the moment. And when it happened, again, like I said, that's just a trait that I have. Like I'm stubborn like that. Like if there's something I'm like, no, I gotta tackle this feat. I gotta get my lick back in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I have to. That's like if I didn't do it at that time, it would have like drove me crazy. That would have drove me crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? So those were just the motivations for that.
It certainly, the deflection, all kind. It was just kind of a fun game to watch there.
Absolutely.
Defensively, Davon, we talked about this while you were at UM. Where does this come from? Your defensive ability, and I remember Coach, even Coach Larinaga back then just praised your defense. That was just always a part of you. Where does it come from, though? Where does your defensive ability come from?
I feel like it's just a natural, as much as it's a natural skill, it's a combination of like how I grew up. I said this in another interview. Like my dad and my best friend's dad, Coach Hook. Like when we used to go to AAU games and trips and stuff. Like if you didn't have a good game, you were hearing about it on the way home. And don't let the other team have had somebody that was killing you that day. You're gonna hear about it all day long. So for me, it's like a pride thing. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not saying I'm holding everybody scoreless or anything of that nature. No, my job is to make it as difficult as possible for you. Like you have to work for your buckets when you guarding me. You know, when I'm guarding you. So I feel like if I do that, I'm doing my job. You know, so that's just my mentality. And then I pick up on people's tendencies. You know what I'm saying? And I just try to play it that way. I try to be the aggressor in a situation.
Yeah, and with that, I am curious what you think makes a good defender because again, I mean, Davon, I mean, simply put, you're not the most athletic guy on the court. You know,
Right.
I think where it could come a little bit easier for guys that are athletic, you know, just bigger, the whole thing.
Right.
So, but you've always been known as a good defender. What in your mind makes a good defender?
You gotta be as much as I feel like I am a great on ball defender. I'm just as good of a help defender. I feel like I'm weak side. I'm talking most importantly. Like you gotta hear my voice. I'm directing the defense. Like I'm directing the game. Like I feel like that's something I can bring to every team. Like I feel like worst come to worst, that is something that I can dramatically impact a team with. Like just my communication on defense, how we talking the game through, my help side defense, my ability to guard 1 through 4. You know what I'm saying? Those are just the intangibles. Like that's a great defender. Look at all the best defenders in the league. It's usually not a little guard. It's like a forward or a wing that can defend multiple positions. Or obviously you have the Goberts of the world that and Miles Turners and the great shot blockers, but people like Draymond's one of the best defenders. Kawhi, Paul George, they can guard different positions. They got long deflection hands. You know what I'm saying? You got to have intangibles just like you have intangibles on offense. You know what I'm saying? It's people look at, you know, they only give the glory to one side of the ball in this game. You know what I'm saying? But it's a complete game.
Yeah, definitely. You touched on Taiwan. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last summer. I am curious what that was like playing for Taoyuan, the pilots there. What's your memories, your takeaways? You touched on kind of on court stuff, but what was that experience like to play over there?
Man, like I said, that was people don't even realize like how life changing that was for me. Like it was like a breath of fresh air. Number one, like just refreshing and to even know like, okay, I'm not exactly where I want to be in my career, but the fact that like my talent is actually taking me to a whole nother continent, you know what I'm saying? I'm going halfway across the world. So I embraced it, but that's just the type of person I am. I like new things. And then when I got there, it was better than I expected. You know what I'm saying? People actually spoke English, like it was pretty modern. The place I lived was actually like right next to a outlet mall. It had a American restaurant right there. Then I started venturing to Taipei. I could see like the city was so modern, a lot of great food. I was impressed because I changed my diet. They had like a lot of gourmet vegan spots. It was a really dope experience. And then, like I said, in the basketball standpoint, it was a new league. It was just an opportunity for me to really just work on my game. They handed me the ball and it was fun, man. It was fun because they really embraced me. They embraced the imports. They showed a lot of love. It's like a really untapped market. And this year, actually, Taiwan has a lot more players from the U.S. There's been quite a few players that's gone to Taiwan this year. They started a new league as well.
You touched on being embraced. How about the fans? What was that like? Did
Oh
you feel
man,
embraced, the love from the fans there?
that was dope. Again, it was just a refreshing experience because now it's like not that I care about that, but like I get to be embraced again for my talent and my game, and they just fell in love with me because, again, like the bigger crowds, like our arena wasn't the best crowd, but like the other teams, they had like a bigger stadium. The crowds were going crazier. It was like a different vibe, different setup, and I would go crazier for them games. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a great experience to the point where like I got hurt and fans were driving on the moped, stopping me on the side of the street, like, "Are you okay? Like, we wish you like a speedy recovery." Like, it was an awesome experience, man. Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you touched on going there. Just that's the first time you'd been playing either NBA or G League. You've been in the States with your career.
Mm-hmm.
And for any basketball fan that has not seen a game outside the States, I highly recommend it. I've been to one in Germany, had a chance to go there and watch the pro ball, and just the fan. I mean, I'm sure Taiwan was different. Every place is different, certainly, but just the experience. And it sounds like you had a great time, and it seems like they really embraced you, which is great to hear. A lot of people do. And I watched the highlights. You had that big 43-point game. Just kind of watching you do your thing. Davon, draft night, kind of going back to that. Do you have a good draft experience? That something that stands out to you always about that? Every player wants to be drafted. What was your memories like with your experience?
Man, you going in the files on this podcast, man. I love it. That was another just again, I just give all the glory to God, just how he just moved in my life and things that I don't quite understand always, but then at the same time just having faith and then just seeing how he actually make things happen. Like, I had no clue where I was going, where I was getting drafted, if I was getting drafted. I just knew that I put my all into my draft workouts. I even worked out the day before the draft for the Knicks. So all up until the day before the draft, my agent, everybody, every reporter saying 40 undrafted. I never heard anything different. And then like on the way home after the Knicks workout, my agent was like, "I think you're a lock at 40. And I'm like, "Okay." He was like, "I want you to go to the draft tomorrow." And I'm like, "Nah, we didn't plan for that. Like, I don't have a suit ready. I'm not going up there looking like anything. I'm not quite ready. Like, that's not like really a guarantee to me. You telling me this the day of, day before the draft, like, and I never heard anything different from you, prior to that." So I ended up renting out a spot like somewhere near where I grew up. Had the family and friends. We rented it out. And then after the first round, my agent called me, like literally when the first round ended. I think the 29th or the 30th pick was getting called. He like, "You're going at 32 to Phoenix." And I'm like, "No way." And he was like, "I swear you're going to 32 at Phoenix." So I'm like, all right. I basically hung up. I'm like, "Bro, I got to call you back. Like, I want to see this for myself." And he was like, "All right, bet. Call me back." And then when they called my name, actually by Mark Tatum. Funny story is that Mark Tatum and I are pretty close. His children went to the same school that I did. We have a lower school, middle school, and an upper school. And they were in school as I was a senior. As I was playing at Princeton Day School. So, and he was on the board of trustees. So he had a chance to see me actually mature into a young man. And he called my name in the draft. And then I'll never, ever forget that one. That was just a unbelievably humbling experience, man. That was awesome.
You touched on the Knicks, but were the Suns? Did you get positive feedback? Were you thinking
Absolutely? Okay. So we can so deeper into the story though. So I want to say 19 workouts, and I worked out for not coincidentally, this is how things work. I worked out for Indiana twice, and I worked out for Phoenix twice. My first workout with Phoenix, I killed it, and then I think workout like 17 or like one of my workouts, New Orleans, I hurt my leg mid-workout, powered through it, killed the workout. That was one of the best workouts. That was one of the best workouts like I had just as far as competition. I got hurt, went to Philly. I'm from New Jersey, so I ended up just resting. I sat out that workout, sat out my next planned workout, and then the Suns invited me back amongst the wings that they were considering drafting. It was like me, Semi Ojeleye, Josh Hart, VJ Beachum, Sterling Brown, and Dylan Brooks. Ooh, that was the best workout. That was fire. That was fire. That was fire. We were definitely in there going crazy. That was a good workout. That was the best workout for sure. So I guess, well, we see what happened. They went with me, and yeah, that was great for sure.
That's good. So we're gonna, and then fast forward again with the Nuggets. Just seeing what Jokic is able to do, seeing it from afar, maybe up close now. Mm-hmm. What can you say about what he brings, everything he brings to a team?
Man, so going back, I was a fan of the Nuggets. So I'm a basketball fan, so I pay attention to not just the teams that are getting all the love, but I was a big fan of Jokic and the Nuggets and Jamal Murray and the Nuggets already, and I knew that they had a good team. So I was watching him and could see his talent and how gifted he was, but to be able to see it in person, like night in, night out, and this is night in, night out. Big fella doesn't take games off. He plays heavy minutes damn near every night. Like, he controls the game 94 feet. Like, that's why he's like, and I'm just learning from him, like how he reads the game, how his nuances are. And like, I really do hope I get an opportunity to show that I can make plays, not just for myself, but for others as well. But I know it comes with just time and reps and getting your foundation first, and I'm all the way for it. But I'm definitely learning from big fella. He's one of a kind, definitely one of the best best players I've seen with my own two eyes.
It's interesting you touched on the making plays for others. I think that's an underrated part of your game is your passing ability. Either it just seems like, bullet passes across to the wings for better shots, just kind of keeping things on a line. I don't know. It's just one of those things of your game I like watching. Davon, before we get out of here, just the keys for you guys, just down the stretch for your team and for your role that you're in right now. Just kind of finish the season strong, the regular season for you guys here.
I'll start with our team. I think the biggest thing for us is wanting to be great every night, being consistency as we start to close down the stretch of the season and getting ready to go into playoffs. We got to get to a point where we're in our groove constantly. We're checking our boxes night in, night out, and I feel like if we check in those boxes, then we'll be where we need to be. And we're catching our stride. We've had a lot of injuries, but we're rolling. We're figuring out on the fly, taking it one day at a time. And then obviously how well you can defend every team. That's no secret for any team. Got to be able to defend, especially with playoff schemes and matchups and different things like that. So we got to be locked in and getting our principles together on that part. And we're trending in the right direction as well with that as well. But I think those are the big keys for us going into the playoffs. And then for me, just continue to just stay ready, continue to be a voice, even though I'm not one of the main guys on the team. I feel like my voice is, like I said, something I bring to the team, whether I'm on or off the court. And then when I'm out there, just playing my part, playing hard, diving on the floor every 50-50 ball, being vocal for my team, and making shots that I know I can, and just making the right plays. That's it.
I appreciate your time once again. It's valuable. Best of luck all the way through. It was great kind of catching up here. Take it easy, man.
Most definitely. Appreciate you having me on, man. Much love.